Welcome to the Quiet Taste Podcast. I mean, I'm back.
And I'm back.
Just fuck DJ.
Yeah. We don't need him.
No, we're good. Anyways, this is your boy, Zach Daddy.
It's Queen Bee here, and we've got a couple awesome guests on today.
Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead and say hi to everybody. We got the Big Cat.
Hi.
And we got Mish.
Hello.
Well, Mish is the first time here, so,
yeah,
that's
welcome.
pretty tight. The rule has always been the same. If you come up with a topic and give us a day, you can come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And Michelle finally did it. So anyways, welcome.
I came up with the day and the topic for her.
Okay, you did all the legwork and then told her when to be here. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
You couldn't just let her have this one.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
No.
It's okay.
No. Okay.
Yeah, so
I forgot where I was for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, how fucking dare you?
yeah, just calling people out.
Oopsies.
I mean, we just women empowering women. Not today.
Not today.
Not today. Nobody wins,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Equal rights and lefts apparently. But yeah, welcome to Quiet Taste Podcast. we
have a lot of feminine energy here today.
I am surrounded.
Yep. How does it feel?
Okay. I
Yeah?
guess. Sure. I got the ladies. There's a lady cat. It's Charlie.
There's Charlie.
Charlie doesn't count.
No, Charlie
Nope.
doesn't count.
So anyways, welcome to Quiet Taste Podcast. We do some mystery. Today's gonna be some murder. So that's pretty tight.
Yes.
So if you're new to the podcast, welcome. We appreciate giving us a shot. We do about 10 to 15 minutes of some banter, get the juices flowing a little bit, break the ice a little bit. You know how it goes. If you want to get into the topic, you can skip ahead a little bit if you want to, or you can hear us just sitting around being hilarious for a minute.
Usual.
That's up to you, of course. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us another listen. We've been getting a lot more followers lately, so we appreciate that. If you're following us on social media, we appreciate that too.
Hell yeah.
I hope you're having a good day. Your butt looks nice. Drink some water, though. Stay hydrated. It's critical.
Or some cider.
Or some cider. Yeah, Big Cat brought a cider today. That's pretty tight. Thank you,
Got
Big
some
Cat.
cider.
Yeah.
It's September. It
It
only
is.
makes sense.
Got some Black Widow cider. Very topical for today.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And only if it was a little bit cooler out. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We're getting there. It's fine. Anywho, so yeah, if you're a return listener, you know what you get. You get your forehead kisses.
Guys, ready?
All of you.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
There you go. That's a lot of forehead kisses.
Yep.
That is a
Forehead kisses times 3.
Indeed. I hope that's like surround sound of people's headphones or like in their cars so they actually get surround sound
Oh,
forehead
yeah.
kisses.
That would be amazing.
That would be worth it. I hope you all enjoyed that.
That was enough to go around for sure. Yeah.
Hope you all enjoy that for the rest of your week. So I hope that gives you the boost you need today to get through it. So as per usual, we do have a question this week. Since Deej isn't here, I don't know where he's at. He probably got kidnapped by Tibetan monks.
Yeah.
Poor Deej.
They saw his shaved head and they're like, you're one of us.
One of us.
now.
Oh, he's one of the Krishnas.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, no. No, DJ.
He'll be fine.
He'll be all right. He'll be
Maybe.
back.
Probably not. So this week, though, the question, B, you came up with this one.
Kat actually came up with it, sort of. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
It
was a
team
collaborative effort.
Yeah, it was a
I was
collaborative
just
effort.
here
It was.
chilling.
But yeah, if you were to, somebody,
That's murder.
it's code for murder, what would your weapon of choice be? And I knew mine right off the bat. I was ready.
It was
You
kind
were.
of weird. It
Yeah.
was. I mean,
like
I don't know that we were
you knew-
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you knew automatically what you were going to
100%.
do.
So,
I was
okay.
concerned. I am
If
concerned.
If I can choose any weapon, right, any circumstances, I'm going to choose a very large, very sharp icicle.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You're getting away with this.
I am getting away
I
with
love it.
That
All
is- That's the point. That's the whole, it melts. No murder weapon.
Boom.
Okay, so are we trying to pick a murder weapon that we're going to get away with or just a murder weapon that we're just going to use?
No, just whatever you want.
I
to
mean,
kill
that would
someone
be
with.
like, my weapon of choice. If it was like, I was gonna murder someone with zero consequences, and it was just for funsies.
Yeah.
I
No,
think it
that's
might
where
be
we're at.
something-
Yeah, I was thinking
I
about for
think it might be
funsies.
something different. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's mine.
I guess we didn't specify.
Probably those like shock things that they use at the hospital where you
Yes.
can like paddle you to
paddles?
death.
What are you going to
Yeah.
paddle though? Like what part of the body?
Their balls for sure.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so we're not murdering
I saw
women.
that
I
coming.
Of course
love
not.
you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's of course it's a man.
See, we are sticking together here.
yeah.
Oh, well, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
When
I
it
mean,
counts.
It doesn't take
Yeah,
much except
just-
for the hatred of a man, really. So that'll do
Electrocute
it.
their balls to death.
Yep.
I'm sure that would smell horrible.
I imagine
Probably.
them to be mini for some
Well, I'm
reason,
gonna
though.
be.
Just tiny little
Well, no,
pads.
because there's those ones that are on handles. I see them in like Grey's Anatomy and
Yes.
stuff where they stick them inside the person just to get their heart.
Ew.
But I can use those.
Sure.
And then I'm in a hospital, so I can put on an N95 mask and not smell it.
Yeah,
fair.
absolutely. Make
I
sure
got
to
this
have
all
your
figured
battery
Apparently you
daddy
do.
just in
Yeah,
case.
my battery daddy.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on hand.
I
ready
learned
to
what the
go.
battery
Got
daddy
him.
was today.
Yeah, who out
So
there
that's
has a
fun.
battery daddy? You know, you know what it is.
So
Dude,
that's
the
fun.
first time I saw that, I was like, hey, yo, I'm battery daddy.
Hey.
I mean, I was the person that named it knew what this was going to be for.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
Like, they had this all planned out.
Well, my grandma actually got me mine for Christmas because she was like, "You can organize all your batteries." I was like, "Thank you, grandma."
Your grandma sounds so fun.
She is. She's
Yeah.
the best. I love my grandma. Don't be making that face about my grandma.
It's too late. I made the face. I ain't taking it back. My face said what it said. It's too late. All right, Mish, what you got?
Okay, mine would be a wooden bat.
Damn.
Classic.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you just do the bat, or would you like wrap it in barbed wire like
No,
Lucille?
I think I would just do the plain old wooden bat.
Okay.
Because if I was gonna get away with it, you can burn it, and then there goes everything.
Yeah, that's true.
But it just seems like it would just be, I don't know, I guess like watching like Goodfellas and stuff like that. Just kind of,
Yeah, that's very classic.
yeah. So
It is classic.
I
You
guess
can
so.
inflict some pain.
It seems like
Oh,
it'd be
yeah.
so hard though. Like how many times you'd have to hit somebody.
You would have to beat the crap out of someone to kill
like
them
your
with a bat.
shoulders like would hurt
yeah, probably.
for a while.
But it just seems interesting. Yeah. I'm sure it's like, if you really wanted to. It's
gotta feel good, right?
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
has to feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're taking out some aggression.
Yeah, you're gonna
yeah.
see brains
Yeah.
for sure.
That's personal.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Who hurt you?
Damn.
A lot of people.
You know what? We don't have to. That's for another day.
Oh, yeah, I feel like
That's
that's a
a-
Patreon
That's
episode.
an
I'm going to leave.
aftertaste.
Yo.
That's an episode of aftertaste.
Yeah, that's the aftertaste episode for sure. I will not be in the room
that's
for that.
we kick Aaron out and we do a girls version
We
of
might
I
have
aftertaste.
already
Yeah.
volunteered myself to leave the room. Like, it's cool. I'll hit record and walk the fuck out.
Perfect.
Walk the foot. Yeah, we
It
need
is
you for the
fine.
buttons, please. Please.
I could press one button.
It's like, yeah, it's honestly just one
There's
button.
too
Well, there's two, I
many,
guess, because I have the record and the intro, but
Yeah. Well,
Other than
you
that-
can do that part and then you can leave. And,
I will gladly fuck the fuck off
yeah,
to
yeah.
another part of the house or to outside.
and then we can trauma dump on our listeners.
That's a great idea.
Because I'll never listen to it, so yeah, it's great.
I don't know if anybody will ever tune back in after that.
Have you ever listened back to a Patreon episode at all?
I have not.
No?
No.
Oh my God, they're
Really?
so funny though.
They are. They're good.
My favorite is when you guys figured out the button for the beep. That was great.
Yeah, that happened totally on
And
accident.
then we just like never use it again.
no, well, because we never censor ourselves.
We don't.
That's true.
Even though we probably should have when Greg was here.
Yeah.
Well, that was a Patreon.
Yeah.
That was a Patreon.
That's true, though. That was
fine.
Patreon.
You did the right thing.
We would not have
You
him
knew.
on the main.
You know.
No, on the main podcast? Fuck no.
No.
Our daytime talk show?
Absolutely. Our family friendly show.
As I just said the F word, yes. Yes, it's perfectly fine and safe for families.
Yeah.
You guys, my
Bring your
mom,
kids.
she wanted to listen to the last one that I was on,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Deadliest Women, and so we listened to it together. And I like warned her. I was like, "Mom, I am trash. Like you are gonna feel so weird about this." And
Oh
she's
my
like, "No,
God.
let me listen to it."
That is so funny.
She did. She listened to the whole thing, and then she said that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, good.
All right.
And I said, "This is a great moment
That's
for
fantastic.
Nice.
us." Yeah,
You guys are bonding.
I know.
I've been saying
You guys did this.
We need to do because my grandpa loves history
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that I'm on a history podcast.
Sure.
And he continuously begs me to like let him listen to it. And I'm like, no, grandpa, you cannot listen to this. So I keep saying we have to do like a rated G episode for my grandpa.
I can do that. I don't know about you guys, but I can get away with it.
I could do, if it's for my grandpa, I can do it.
Okay, so the DJ is the issue.
I don't know about DJ.
Yeah, the one time that we had an episode, this was a while ago. It was for Halloween. I think it was 2 years ago when we had Pete on.
Yeah.
And, Pete, he's a local police officer, but he runs the Paranormal Society for, NWI, which is great. But he also works with high school kids. So I'm like, okay, we need to do an episode where we don't curse and,
try to keep
just
it PG.
so, exactly, just so like, his people that know him can listen to it, families, Like 5 minutes in after saying that, DJ's just like, I'm like, dude, I have to stare at him. We just agreed to this. How did you forget?
Well,
Here we
you
are.
see where DJ comes from, so.
Yeah.
Back to that baseball bat, right? Full circle. You're sitting in the seats, talking about beating up people with a baseball bat. You brought snacks. It's a whole thing happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing going on here. All right, Big Cat, what you got? What's your weapon of choice here?
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I would love to strangle someone to death with my bare hands.
Oh.
Like, I just want to feel it all
watch
happen.
the light fade from their eyes as you're
that,
making
and then
direct eye
just
contact.
like feel them go fucking limp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
at first it's like, they're all trying to muscle their neck so that they don't die, right? But
They're like grabbing at your hands,
and then
like,
and it's like fucking scary as shit for a little while, but then like just bye.
But then you're just like, shh.
Yeah, and then just dead.
Let it happen. Go in.
Yeah, and just like talk softly to them while it's happening.
Yeah. Give them like a little kiss on the cheek.
Just like,
Go sleep.
Well,
No,
forehead
that'd
kiss,
be a
obviously.
forehead kiss.
Yeah.
For sure.
Obviously.
For sure.
The answer's right there.
Give them a little forehead kiss.
Yeah.
A little kiss on the tip of the nose.
Yeah. Little boop boop. Yeah.
And then they die.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like that would be wild. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Thanks.
Right on.
Thank you.
Right on.
How about you, Aaron?
It only came a classic, actually. Not that classic, not like the two things that you were born with.
I mean,
But, I've always been curious because, I like to lift weights and what I like to work out and what have you. How strong do I have to be to cut somebody in half with a sword?
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, if I have a sharp enough sword and
gonna
I
say,
just swing that
I
bitch.
feel like you don't have to be that strong as long as your sword is sharp enough.
yeah, for sure.
You know?
There has to be like some kind of physics to go with like
I mean,
like
I'm
a
sure you need some
proper
strength
sword.
behind it.
Right,
You need
right.
technique behind it.
probably, yeah, not know where to cut at.
But
right.
like as long as your sword is super sharp, you can just
Yep.
Right in half.
Just right in half.
yeah, for sure.
Just see what happens. Let's see how just just
Yeah.
How do you think so if they're like standing up, do you think like it would be a second before like their top fell off of their bottom?
Yeah, like it's
You
like
know?
it's like
Oh, like the old
you-
samurai movies.
Yeah.
Like you slice it and then
Yeah.
they're just standing there and then it like
like-
slides.
Yes.
That wet
No,
soppy
for
noise.
sure.
Yeah.
I recently chainsawed my first tree. And
You
it was
did?
fucking crazy because when you're done, the way that the angle, I guess I cut it, and maybe it wasn't
Yeah.
right, but it like stayed there for a second and then just to the floor. And it was psychotic.
Yeah.
That sounds satisfying.
It was. Oh my God, it was. I have part of the tree stump in my garage.
Chainsaw would
Nice.
be kind of fun too because then you get the blood spray and it's real dramatic.
No, yeah, but dude, chainsaws are hard to use. Like
They
it
are hard to
looks
use.
easy and it is not.
They are hard to use and they're kind of scary to use
They
too.
are.
Because it's like you get those intrusive thoughts when
Yeah.
you're using it and you're like, I could just slip right
My
now
leg.
and I could absolutely cut my leg off.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just
No
see what
thanks.
happens,
Yeah.
you know?
It's true. You
Yeah.
both own chainsaws. This is great.
I
Just so you know, when I move, I'm gonna need to borrow yours.
mean,
I'm not gonna say why, but just know that I'm gonna need to borrow it.
okay.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll bring it back.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I didn't doubt
Think
that
about-
for a
Do you
second.
also want to borrow a baseball bat or a giant icicle?
The icing will come naturally.
Or cat's hands?
Oh no. No, I'm okay.
Cat,
Have
come
my-
over here real quick. I need your hand.
Right.
Be right there, bud. Be right
Something
there.
very specific I need you for.
You know I got you forever.
Because you would never ask a question. You would just come over like, huh?
Absolutely fucking right. Yep.
Ding dong, what's up?
Yep.
I'm here, ready.
Like, I bought ciders
You needed these?
and these hands. What's up?
I will
Fresh
always
and
come with
clean.
something to drink. Yes, of course. My fingernails will be manicured just in case.
I mean, of course, you got to be ready.
Yeah.
You never know.
I got you.
I get it. It's cool.
in case you got to leave some nail imprints.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You can have them like the Like the claws from the last Deadliest.
Yes.
Yeah. The gloves with the
false
claws.
fingernails.
Yes. I want a pair of those so bad. Oh my God.
I mean, Catwoman made them. We can figure
See,
it out.
my first thought was Catwoman, like the original,
Yeah.
like from the original Batman.
Because it's like, that's fucking what they are. And they're super dope. And like,
Right on.
dude, I would slash somebody in the face for sure. Or like right in the jugular.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't know what part of your neck is a jugular, but I'd figure it out. This one? Okay.
Right.
Now you know.
Got it. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Here to help. Requiring this podcast, we are here.
We're here to let you know where specifically to slice someone in the neck.
I was just going to say we're an educational podcast. We're here to lend our help to people in need.
Yeah, our expertise.
But okay, if that's the way we're going to go with this, that's fine. Sure.
All right.
All right. Well, that was an interesting opening.
Yeah.
One of the most violent openings we've had, but that's par for the course. Given the present company, I'm okay with it.
I feel really good. Yeah.
I do too. I like
The
it.
energy in the room's good. It's cool. I'm with it. I'm with it.
I feel like I knew yours was going to be a sword.
Either that or an axe. I was in between the two.
I feel like a sword fits you better.
I've been playing a lot of The Witcher. It's happening. Like I've been reading The Witcher, playing The Witcher. It's a whole thing.
Would you use like a katana or would you use like a medieval like broadsword?
That's a really big question. Again, been playing a lot of The Witcher, so probably a broadsword right now.
Yeah.
Katanas are dope, but I really don't want to get into that. Like, holy shit, that was gonna be a rabbit hole I was gonna send you guys down. It was gonna be real boring.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be real boring.
Oh boy.
Comparing the quality of steel in Japan versus Europe, it's gonna be a whole thing. Anyways,
He's like, I got an essay.
my answer is broadsword, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Samurai swords are dope though. I do want to own one.
Now you should do an episode on swords because there's
And-
just so many.
And the various metallurgy that goes into them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Doesn't your dad really like swords?
My dad and my brother.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah.
My brother has like a whole like sword collection. It was all like Japanese, but now it's all like from all of them from Spain because our ancestors are from Spain.
Sure.
So yeah,
We should do an episode about that metal that they made swords out of back in like ye olden days or whatever that's like no longer exists. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's
Sorta.
they in like ancient Rome or something, they had this metal that no longer exists. Like they can't figure out what they made it out of. And
You
they
got
used
me.
to make weapons out of it.
Sure.
God damn it. Wait a minute. Hang on.
I mean, I believe you. I've never heard of this.
all I
Wait.
can think about right now is like House of Dragon and Game of Thrones, and you're like,
I mean,
Yeah, what's that one called? That one's
we figured out they're
Valerian
concrete.
steel.
Valerian steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what Valerian steel is based off of.
Oh, okay. I've never
Like
seen
you know
Game of Thrones.
how wildfire is based off of what's it called?
Wildfire from what I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Or Dragonfire is based off
Oh,
of
Greek
wildfire.
fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Greek fire.
Right.
So Valerian steel is based off of like this other thing.
Okay, sure.
And I
I mean,
can't-
I'm always down to learn something. I'm completely lost in the sauce on this one.
Hang on.
Speaking of the sauce, this cider's not bad.
Right?
Very festive.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for Anywho,
Damascus steel.
Damascus steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
yes,
you knew what I was
of
talking about.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
One day. So, anyways, this week, if you didn't already know this from the topic, we are back with some more of history's deadliest women. Here's why we have a lot of women on the podcast. Hello.
Hello.
You know what's funny? Like our demographic. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on every episode, but our demographic is more women than men at this point.
Which is so funny because
It is
when
hilarious.
when I started on the podcast, it was like 80% men,
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
20% women, or something.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
So
Thanks.
where my girlies at?
They are out there apparently and all listening to us apparently, which is
Hell yeah.
dope. So thanks, ladies.
I mean, half of them are probably from DJ's like thirst trap TikToks.
Oh, God.
Look, it would be messed up if all the women that listen to the podcast know me and DJ,
That would be kind of weird,
and actually par for the course.
but also funny.
Anywho, so we're back with more deadly women. I'm gonna kick us off because mine is super short. So last time we talked about this, I mentioned the sniper, I believe, from Russia.
Yep.
Whose name I cannot remember right now because I didn't think to write it down. Look, I'm in the middle of moving. I'm sleepy. Whatever.
It was
Anyways,
It was a Russian name.
it was definitely for
It was
yeah. It was
super
I
Russian. You
can't
tried.
quite
You did really
remember.
well.
I tried. I've summoned we have summoned collectively so many random demons in this house by
for sure.
mispronouncing names.
Just trying to pronounce things.
And now I'm
Fuck, you're
moving, so
getting
it's
out,
cool.
Yeah.
It's fine, just leaving the demons here.
A whole new, just like bunch of them in the new house.
It's fine.
Can't wait.
It's totally fine. So we're going back to World War II again.
Woo!
So I've pretty much broke it down in the last episode, so you really want the details of the war, go back there. However, we all know that I hate commies. I wish Ben was here. So going his Ben rants about how
Do you want
commies
one
ain't
of us
shit.
to start yelling?
Yeah.
If you could like find a really long fake beard to put on it and just start going to town
I
about
mean,
whatever you're
Pull your
passionate
hair
about.
down and put your hair like in front.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'd work.
Do one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Be like, Hitler!
Commies.
And fucking commies. So yeah, fuck commies, so they're not people. Anywho, so but I will say one of the things I will give them props for is their use of women in the military in World War II. They were the first people to do it. Well, in that war, like, hey, dude, like women can fight these people too, because fuck Nazis too.
Ladies can kill too.
Yes,
Just
they
as
can.
efficiently, if not better, actually. So that was proven with the sniper. You know, that was cool.
Yeah.
That's episode. Let's go back, listen to that. But I got another one. Though this is gonna be that's unfortunately short, but she's pretty cool. So Lydia Lidvyak, sure.
Yeah.
Nailed
Anywho,
it.
Definitely.
known as either the White Lily of Stalingrad or the White Rose of Stalingrad.
Ooh, those are adorable nicknames.
She
I love
actually is
that.
pretty attractive. I'm just putting that out there. Like she's a good looking woman.
Is she a baddie?
Yeah, she.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she could call it from Mother Russia. So this one, she was actually a fighter pilot. So World War II, Nazis were all up in Russia's bullshit. What happened was they eventually did make their own air force that ended up fucking up the German Air Force. Blah 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 blah. History's history. This one was tight. So she actually was the first woman to get a confirmed kill as a fighter pilot.
Nice.
I love her.
Is pretty freaking cool. So she actually was confirmed to have either 13 or 14 solo kills and 4 or 5 shared kills, and she went on 66 different sorties. So she flew 66 different missions. Unfortunately, though, she was and also she was one of the first 2 women to become a fighter ace.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
She looks like someone. She looks like an actress, but I can't think of who it is.
Yeah, I can't
She
place
cute.
it.
She cute though.
She is cute.
There are other pictures of her actually, and it's I'm just putting it out there.
She looks like she looks like, oh, you know who she looks like? She looks like Saoirse Ronan.
No idea who that is.
Yeah, you got me.
No idea.
Wait, hang on.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I'm usually really bad with actors and actresses. I'm just goes right over my fucking head.
Oh yeah.
And thankfully I'm not alone. Thanks for joining me in that one. The confusion that I just felt was deep.
Wait, hang on.
But
You'll know her if you see her. This chick.
no.
You guys know. You guys have seen her, right? She's in Atonement with Keira Knightley. She's in The Lovely Bones. She's in she's in a lot of
That's like
things.
the only movie I've seen her in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost all of us on that one, B.
Ah, come on, guys.
At least it wasn't just me. I'm just happy about that part.
the listeners will know what I'm talking about.
I hope so.
They will.
They will.
Anyway.
So unfortunately, she did die during World War II, though. She essentially found a formation of German fighters, went to attack them because, I mean, she had bigger balls than everybody else, and she got shot down and died.
Oh, like
So,
by herself? Mm-hmm. That's badass.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Good for
from
her.
Do you know how
Russia,
old she
I got
is?
this one.
She looks young in these pictures.
She does.
I think she was 21.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, she wasn't taking none of that shit.
Wow.
Nah, she was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm doing it.
Oh, so this is her. This is her a little older.
Okay.
She's a baddie.
She is.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Told you.
All her medals. She's got, like,
Again, 66 missions. That's a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 medals just in this one picture.
I wonder how many people she killed.
It
What's
was
her body count?
like
Yeah.
20 something.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Let me see.
And that's all while she was like in a plane.
She's
it
credited
was about 20.
with 11 to 14 solo victories and 4 to 5 shared kills.
So yeah, about 20.
Badass.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, unfortunately, her career did not that last that long, but you know she was pretty bad,
She sure was.
Yeah.
and that's all I got to say about that.
Hell yeah.
I wanted this episode. Yeah, y'all got this. I'm just here to. You know, I'm here for the vibes.
Sure.
I'm pulling at you this time. I'm
You
just for.
certainly are. Yeah,
pulling-
most of the time it's me who's just here for the vibes.
But yeah, go off.
All right.
Who's
Yeah,
next?
sure.
You next? You got this?
I got this.
All right, cool. I'm gonna sit back and drink my drink.
Yeah.
Learn some shit.
Absolutely.
Say some oohs and ahs.
Are you ready for this one?
Ooh.
So I am going to be talking about. This is actually a listener suggestion from our TikTok.
Ooh.
So I went on
Okay.
TikTok and I said, "Hey guys, what is your favorite historical lady murderer?" And we got some good suggestions. And this one, I looked them all up and I found this one, and this one seemed really interesting. So this is the story of Giulia Tofana.
Mm-hmm.
So Giulia Tofana was born in Palermo, Italy, around 1620. Her early life is very unknown. Like, there is not a lot that's known about her. There are no portraits of her. Nobody knows what she looked like. Nobody knows really any confirmed things about her childhood or anything really. Basically, everything I'm about to say is alleged. Like, it's all speculation. Kind of like your Ninja Girl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, from last episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know.
I love those though.
Yeah. But like a lot of the stories are consistent. So it's like there are things that probably happened, but nothing's really confirmed. So she was possibly the daughter of another very famous woman from Palermo named Tofania di Adamo. And it was pretty much common back then for women to take their mother's first name as their last name. So her mother's name was Tofania, so her last name ended up being Tofana. So I don't know, it's an old Italian thing. I don't know.
We'll go with it.
Anyway.
I don't know enough to say that's not right. Sounds great.
So Juliana's mother, she was allegedly abused by Juliana's father. She was horrifically abused. He beat the crap out of her. You know, this is, the 1600s in Italy. So women can't really do anything about anything at this point in history. So she watched her mother be horrifically abused by her father. And then she watched the freedom that her mother suddenly gained after she became a widow.
Weird.
I know. So her mother was a famous poisoner.
Ooh.
I fucking knew it.
Yep. So Tofania di Adamo, she basically came up with this poison.
Was this the mom?
This
I'm sorry.
poison, the mom, yes.
Okay, it's the mom. Got it.
The mom, Julia's mom. She came up with this poison. She invented it, called aqua tofana.
Oh, so she was smart.
Yeah.
That sounds so damn fancy. It sounds like
doesn't
a
it?
cologne or a perfume.
It sounds
or
like
something.
a perfume. It sounds like a fancy perfume, which
Like-
is
I wish
going to
I
be.
smelled like that.
I know. I smell like aqua tofana.
Like, this sounds above my pay grade.
It was actually so it was passed down to Julia by her mother. Her mother used it to poison her father. Her mother also used it to poison some other people probably. But she was basically like, "Here, my daughter, I bequeath this recipe for this poison onto you. Do with it what you will."
Sure.
Now Julia, she was spending a lot of time at apothecaries. So
She was fucking witchy, wasn't
yes,
she?
she was
yeah,
witchy
she was.
as hell. She was witchy as hell. She was dabbling in charms and potions and other poisons and cosmetics was her main thing. That was her main shtick. She was a makeup girly. Yep. So she disguised aqua tofana as a women's cosmetic. She put it in this cute little bottle. It was like a clear liquid. And she put it in this cute little bottle with an image of St. Nicholas on it and called it Manna of St. Nicholas of Bari. So it was basically like, oh, look at this beautiful little bottle of perfume or whatever that you can buy, just like 3 to 4 drops.
Oh my God.
per
How many
day.
men bought this for their wives?
They stopped into that apothecary.
No.
And they were like, oh, my wife would love this.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but it looks like a cosmetic.
And she fucking probably needs it. She needs it.
Well, actually, that might have happened, but Julia was actually very choosy about who she sold Aqua Tofana to. Basically, she had a lot of empathy because she watched her mother get abused by her father growing up. She had a lot of empathy for women who were stuck in abusive marriages. And there was also women who were basically like not necessarily physically abused, but they were being like forced to have a zillion children over and over again until they died, basically. Like that was a very common thing back then. So she would sell Aqua Tofana to women who were being abused by their husbands. She was kind of sensitive to that sort of thing. Women who bought it would need to have a previous client of hers vouch for them.
Ah, so spooky.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she would be like, what's the secret code or whatever.
Yeah.
And she would like vet these women and make sure that they were doing it for the right reasons. She wasn't just, poisoning anyone willy-nilly.
She was like Batman.
Oh, that's nice of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice of her. It's great.
It's really great.
It's really great.
So good.
She's doing the Lord's work.
She really is.
So, the Aqua Tofana had a combination of lead, arsenic, and belladonna, which belladonna was actually a very common cosmetic ingredient at the time. Women would put it, like drops of it, in their eyes to make their pupils dilate to like appear more attractive. I don't know. I guess dudes were into that sort of thing back in the 1600s.
That's weird.
Big old pupils.
Yeah.
Damn, look at the pupils on that bitch.
It looks so weird.
If you look at fashion throughout history, it's weird as fuck.
It is weird as
Yeah.
fuck.
Remember when pineapples were a fashion statement?
When what?
Never mind. We'll go with that later another day.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Pineapples.
Pineapples.
Oh, pineapples.
Do you mean like that's how you knew someone was wealthy?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. That's a whole thing.
Yeah. It was,
someone was wealthy?
Yeah.
Yep.
If they had like a fresh
That's
pineapple.
how you knew someone was a swinger.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, before that, actually.
Yeah.
Before that, there was,
like pink flamingos too. I think are a swinger thing.
Anything can be a swinger
there was
thing,
a flamingo
really.
incident that happened at the lake house. We could go over that later.
Oh, boy.
Remember the giant flamingo we had at your lake house?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It
And
was a
we-
peacock,
Oh, well, whatever.
but it kind of looked like a flamingo.
It did, and we drove it around the lake, and the head was just bobbing and shit, letting everybody at the lake know that we were a house of swingers on accident.
Yeah.
You were into it.
Just like a house full of like 20-somethings.
just ready to
30 of us.
fuck your
Yeah.
husbands
Apparently.
and wives. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hide your baby daddies.
Better.
Anyway.
Sorry about that. Carry on.
No, you're fine. Okay, so it was kind of like, again, sold as a cosmetic, and men didn't really notice because they didn't pay attention to their women's girlfriends' cosmetics. And the fact that it also had like the image of St. Nicholas on it was kind of a twofold thing. One, it made it look very expensive, and that was kind of a common thing to adorn cosmetics at the time. And if she was selling it to a woman who was not well off enough to buy cosmetics or just not interested in cosmetics, so it would be kind of a red flag if she were to buy a cosmetic item. It could be also used as like, or women could tell their husbands that it was like a devotional item. So it was like,
for their period. Yeah. Yep. No more questions.
yeah, or it was like an item, an oil or like whatever. So anyway, it's the first dose of Aqua Tofana would cause exhaustion and physical weakness. It was a very slow acting poison. So she would do like a drop or 2 drops in their drink or their soup or like whatever per day. And the second dose would bring on stomach aches, vomiting, and dysentery. The third or fourth dose would facilitate death, essentially. So the poison, again, was very slow acting. So that meant that doctors had believed that the cause of death was like the flu or, I don't know, the plague, whatever was going around at the time. Influenza, I don't know. Whatever the usual cause of death was back then, which was like everything. You get a splinter.
And
like,
everything gave you like weakness and diarrhea.
correct.
And, like,
Everyone was dying of dysentery every 5 seconds.
Literally.
Dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No foul play.
Yeah, basically. And she would coach these women to demand a post-mortem examination and investigation because this poison at the time was untraceable, completely untraceable. So she would tell the women, all right, once your husband dies, act really sad, act really anxious, demand an investigation, demand that they examine his body and look for poisons. Like, you know, that way no one is going to suspect you. If you're over there saying, I want to make sure my husband wasn't poisoned. I need you to make sure he wasn't poisoned. I need you to make sure he was, you know, this isn't foul play. Throws all the suspicion off of the woman, right? So no one suspected these women.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It also gave the men who were dying of this poison very slowly a chance to get their affairs in order. So they realize that they're dying and they're like, oh, I better write a will and make sure all of my money goes to my wife. And they're like, and the wife is over there like, yeah, just sign right here, honey, before you die, just in case.
I really hope you don't die, but thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really, really sad right now, but make sure you sign nice and clear.
Sad.
Yeah, my mom's my beneficiary. You got to kill that. Kill her first.
Also, initial right here as well. I'm so sad, by the way.
You got to fight my mom for my shit.
Well, I don't know. These men's mothers were probably dead by now anyway.
Yeah, this was the time. They were like 40 years old, like, and we're out.
Exactly.
Old age, yeah.
Exactly. So, again, it was completely untraceable. There was no arousal of suspicion. It is estimated that Julia facilitated the deaths of over 600 men
Jesus
over a
Christ.
20-year period. Yeah.
She got away with it?
Well,
Oh, sorry. Nope. No
we're
more
getting
questions.
there. We're getting there. So, again, like I said before, she was very choosy about who she would give this poison to. She didn't just give it out willy-nilly. She talked to these women. She made sure that they knew what they were doing and they were ready to do it. And she coached them and they knew what to do. Unfortunately, one dumb bitch
Oh, fuck her.
fucked it all up.
Fuck her.
One dumb bitch. She put some of the poison into her husband's soup, right? He takes a couple sips of his soup. She freaks out. She says, don't eat that.
Oh, no.
And she panics and she like slaps it out of his hand and he's like, what the fuck was going on? Right? She's like, I don't know. It didn't
This
taste
soup
good. It was
is
too
weird.
salty.
It's just weird.
It was way too salty. It's just, your blood pressure. So he
Definitely that.
he beats the shit out of her until
knew it.
she confesses as to what was going on.
Isn't that why she was fucking poisoning him? What is wrong with her? What is
She's
wrong with her?
She's a bitch. She's
Yeah.
a bitch and a rat, and we don't
Fuck
like her.
Her.
Anyway, so this husband who just realized that his wife is trying to poison him beats a confession out of her and turns her as well as Julia into the authorities.
Imagine.
This is terrible.
Fortunately, Julia had a lot of friends. She had a lot of friends in a lot of very high places.
Well, a lot of widows in very high places.
Yeah, you
A lot of
would.
very
Yeah.
rich widows in their rich widow robes.
Oh, yes, the rose.
Oh, yes, my husband died of a serious circumstances.
Yes.
Yep, sipping dry martinis. Yeah, so she was tipped off pretty quickly that the authorities were after her. So she booked it to a church, right? She's like, sanctuary, right? That was the thing back then. It was like,
Can't arrest somebody in a church?
can't arrest somebody in a church.
Oh,
Yeah.
another brilliant
Yep.
idea. Great.
So she was safe in this church. And she also, supposedly, legend has it, that there was part of her ring of people who were involved in helping her poison all these people. Well, one of them was her daughter, and then another one was a priest and his, like, gaggle of nuns, right? They were, like, all in on it.
Is that what a group of nuns is called?
A gaggle,
A
yeah.
gaggle?
No, I have no idea. Probably.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up.
Do.
I mean, it's probably called a convent. Anyway, so she stayed at this church, I guess, for a while.
It is a convent.
Nice. I like gaggle better. If we could just keep using
yeah.
that, that'd be
I'm
great.
good with it. Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Gaggle of
question it.
Mm-hmm.
So, people start talking. People hear about what happened. They're like, "Did you hear about Julia? She's, lady who owns that apothecary down the street. She was poisoning people. Word gets around. People start talking. They're like, holy shit. Did you hear? Did you hear what happened?"
Yeah.
And then rumors start circulating that she is poisoning Rome's water supply.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like, I mean, who knows what's true at this point, but I highly doubt that was a thing. I think it was just a rumor. So anyway, the people of Rome all of a sudden start, like, demanding at the doors of this church, give us Julia. She's poisoning the water supply. We need to, whatever. So they're like, all right, sorry, bitch, get the fuck out. So they kick her out. They kick her out. She's hauled off to, like, the town square where they torture her and execute her.
In public, right?
In public.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Her daughter also, because her daughter was helping her.
Wow.
And also, like, some employees of hers that were also helping her, or may or may not have been helping her. Who knows? I don't know.
Damn.
Yep. So it's believed that she died in 1651 in Rome. But there is a version of the story where none of that actually happened. Like, some historians believe that she did get away with it. Some historians believe that it wasn't her that was executed. It was a different poisoner. It wasn't, it was someone else who was using aqua tofana. It wasn't her. They believe that she died, like, without anyone ever finding out that she was doing this.
I don't actually know what story I like better.
Yeah, I know.
Because no matter what, it's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of wild. So no one really knows. Like, no one really knows if for sure this woman who was executed was her. Like, it's not well documented, so no one really knows. She might have gotten away with it. Who knows? Either way, aqua tofana continued to be a very well-known method of poisoning for a very long time. There was a lot of people who carried on her legacy and kept selling aqua tofana, kept making it, kept poisoning their husbands, whatever.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Even, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, that guy, if you guys have ever heard of him.
Heard of him.
Little indie composer. He allegedly blamed his sudden mysterious illness on aqua tofana. He said, as he was dying on his deathbed, he said, "I am sure that I have been poisoned. I cannot rid myself of this idea that someone has given me aqua tofana and has calculated the precise time of my death." So he thinks that he was poisoned. He thought he was poisoned by aqua tofana.
Maybe he was.
Maybe he was.
I don't know. Was he a piece of shit? I don't know.
I don't know. I think he was.
I've never looked into this man.
I feel like
in
he
my
was.
life.
I remember learning about him, and I feel like he was a piece of shit.
I mean, probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Most men back then. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, like, the things that were acceptable, you know what
Sure.
I mean? I don't know. Not that makes it okay. I would never say that, but I'm just saying Mozart was probably a piece of shit. That's all I'm saying.
He probably was a piece of shit. He
deserved
probably
it.
was a piece of shit.
It was absolutely that.
Yep.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah, she helped hundreds upon hundreds of women escape very horrific, horrendous, abusive marriages, and probably saved a lot of women's lives. So, anti-hero, I guess. It's up to you to decide whether she was a good guy or a bad guy.
I mean, it's kind of a beautiful reason to murder.
I think it is too. I think if
Yeah.
you're going to murder, like, for any reason, that's kind of a reason.
Yeah. Again, she's definitely Batman.
For sure.
For sure. The OG.
Ancient
Yes.
Batman.
Ancient OG.
But Batman, didn't he not kill people?
He did not.
Well, no.
Well, she didn't either. She didn't kill anyone herself.
No,
she
didn't.
Yeah.
facilitated.
That's true.
She was the caped crusader of
Yeah.
the time.
And she was witchy.
She was witchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a witch.
She's a witch.
She's a
gonna-
witch.
Anyway.
All right. I'm just gonna keep that
That's the
one
story. That's the story of Julia Tofana and her fabulous poison, aqua tofana.
That was fabulous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Mm-hmm. All right. Who's up next? Michelle?
Sure, why
You ready
not?
to go?
Mine's actually pretty dark.
Ooh.
Pretty
Good.
dark.
Uh-oh.
Good.
Pretty crazy.
I love it.
So be prepared.
I love a dark
Just
story.
a warning.
Let's go. Let's get into it. I'm ready.
All right. Well, this is based in Spain, and I've never heard this person until a few days ago.
Okay.
Her name is, how did we say this?
Let me see it one more time.
One more time.
Enrica?
And
What was it? Enriqueta. No. No, wait. Let me see.
Enriqueta Marti.
Enriqueta.
We're gonna summon
Enriqueta.
more demons here.
Yeah,
You have to
it's-
roll.
Again,
the
I'm
R.
moving in like 4 days. Summon more demons is fine.
It's Enriqueta Marti.
Enriqueta Marti.
Enriqueta Marti.
All right. Well, so she.
You could just call her Ricky for short.
Oh, that's
call her-
cute.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Marty. I kind of like saying Marty.
Marty.
Well, so she basically killed a bunch of children.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Another one of
pretty bad.
those.
Another one of those.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Well, that just started off. All right.
Which, yeah, you don't really even like. It doesn't really explain why she even did it. It just
She just did it
she's kinda-
oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
okay.
It was just her and her dad. They lived in a small town outside of Barcelona,
What year are we?
and we're
looking
in
at
the
right
20th century.
now? Okay.
So, this is actually kind of like right before the Titanic.
Oh.
So that kind
Interesting.
of comes into play a little bit towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're-
But yeah, so it's 20th century. Barcelona is not too far away from where she lives. She does a lot of like agriculture and farming with her dad. Her mom had passed away when she was a small child. So I feel like that might have something to do with it.
Ooh, if she doesn't get a mom, no one does.
Yeah.
Yes.
kinda.
Yeah.
She is the mom.
mommy issues.
Yeah. So she has a nickname. They called her the Vampire of Varhal.
Oh, please tell me she ate babies.
She used their blood.
Let's go. Let's fucking get it.
Damn.
Yeah. So she
Baby blood.
around the time, so she's with her dad. She's still like maybe like around 13, 14 this time. And this family comes out there to come visit the farm, and they're from Barcelona, and they're like a richer family. So, and they had kids with them, so she got to like babysit the kids, and they got, grew fond of her. So then eventually that family asked her, hey, do you want to come work with us? Like you take care of the children while we go out and do rich, fancy things. So she agreed to it. But before I get deep into that, she learned how to make herbs and potions and stuff with her father.
So she was also witchy.
Yes, very witchy.
love all the
Or
witchy
what you
people.
call a bruja.
A bruja.
Yep.
She was a bruja.
So they would make all these potions and stuff like that to help prevent disease. So her dad would sell them and make some money from that. So then she eventually learned that from him.
Gotcha.
And some people think that maybe he might have been doing that back in the day too, using children. So, yeah. So who knows?
It's a
There's
family
no
affair.
It is a family
kind of.
affair. See, all
her,
these women, they're learning their witchy ways from their parents, and then they just continue the legacy.
Her
Yikes.
childhood's kind of not really talked about with her dad,
Yeah.
but yeah, so who knows? So she goes off to go live with this family, and she's seen Barcelona, she's seen all the buildings, and it's all fancy from where she came from. So she fell in love with it. She wanted to be, rich and have all this money and dress nice and whatnot.
Who doesn't?
So she was with them for a while, and then eventually she started getting older, and then she started to she would go explore when she wasn't babysitting, and she would see the darker side of Barcelona. She would see the brothels and all that, and then she would find out, oh, hey, that's where you can make some money.
Did she suck dick for money?
Oh yeah, she eventually became a prostitute and was in the brothels.
I mean, sometimes you gotta suck some dick for money.
I mean,
I'm
yep.
not saying. I'm just saying.
Yep.
yeah.
Gotta do what you
And
gotta
it was
do.
known that she was attractive, but the photos that I seen, she doesn't really seem very attractive. But yeah, whatever.
Were they
I
In
don't know.
photos?
Barcelona at the time.
At the
she was a
time.
baddie.
Peak beauty.
Yeah.
She was.
Maybe she had like a spell on everybody of the town.
Because she was a witch.
Yes.
She's a witch.
She's a witch.
But yeah, so she eventually started working in a brothel. And then she started to take after her father, where she grew her own herbs and stuff. So she started making potions and ointments and everything. And around that time too, back in that, era, a lot of rich people and stuff believed, that the blood of a child or whatever would help you.
That was
Stay
such like
young,
a
right?
I don't think they ever
thing.
stopped believing that.
Yeah, no, I think that's
I don't think
still
they
a
ever
thing
stopped
today.
believing
There are
that.
certain conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, I want to say it, but I don't. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, let's not get it. Let's
I'm not
get
gonna
into
go
that right now.
there, but
Let's not get into that right now. However,
yeah.
All I know is I would drink a kid's blood. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
I would do it.
All right.
if
would
there
try
was a kid who offered me some of
I
their
would
blood,
say if they deserved it. That's what I would say.
I mean, some kids are assholes.
As we
Yeah.
have discussed.
true.
Yeah, that's
True.
very true.
We have.
But yeah, so she was doing that on the side too. It's just she was working at a brothel, and then she was making all these potions and stuff for people. And because of that, she got in with the rich, fancy folk. So to where, but like she would make potions too that would also have, they would help ladies back in the day have a miscarriage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Or
Yep.
it would help the men give that to they would, go to the brothels many
mistress.
times. Yep.
Yeah.
So that also helped her gain a lot of respect for these people and whatnot. But then she gave some to, they didn't say the name of her, but this lady had bought some because she wanted to get rid of the child. But then she ended up dying when she took this potion or whatever that she made.
She took too much.
Then that became kind of a scandal. And everybody started talking about it. They're like, oh, Marte, she, killed this lady. But then the police got involved. And then she basically was like, no, like, maybe it just was wrong or something happened. Like, whatever.
That bitch poisoned herself.
So they were kind of like, all right, fine. Because they knew all the people that she knew. And of course, they're getting paid off. So there's like, whatever.
She's like, has anybody ever thought that maybe she just like had the syph or something?
Or tuberculosis, that was like a big thing back then.
Oh, we had a whole lot of that yesterday.
There's a lot of tuberculosis discussion.
Discussion. On the last podcast episode, we a lot of tuberculosis talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Wait for that. That one's coming soon.
That came out today.
Oh yeah, that
late.
did come out today.
Late.
It was like an hour late.
All I know is my usual Tuesday morning was completely fucked.
Yeah,
We're so
my
sorry.
yesterday was completely fucked
I
because
know,
of
I'm so
certain
sorry.
people
Hey,
being late.
Oh,
listen.
Linda.
It wasn't even
should
me.
we continue?
It was mostly DJ.
He was he was an hour and a half late. You were a half an hour late.
Yeah.
Anywho, moving
I would have
on.
been on time.
I was
You
late
were actually
like
early
9 minutes
today.
today.
I'm always early.
Only because of the construction. But whatever. But yeah, so she eventually gets away with that and just continues, living her life after the family that she was working for kind of like booted her out. The family was like, yeah, we don't like this and we don't want you around because that's just too sketchy.
Yeah.
So she goes to live on like the poor side of Spain. So she's still trying to make money. So she eventually she goes and like, so the brothels kind of start to change a little bit back then. So like the Spanish people, the guys, they want more, high class prostitutes.
So like fancy hand jobs or
So yeah, but like dress
roll
nice
your
and
tongue
whatnot.
when you put it in your mouth
Probably.
kind of thing.
But so she was
Supply and demand, all right?
yeah.
They don't want it quick and dirty anymore. They want it a little fancier.
Whatever.
Yeah, they want a little class
Whatever.
with that ass. It's fine.
So she eventually kind of she actually starts becoming a beggar. She dresses up as a beggar and uses these children that she found by a nearby church to help her like get money.
Just found these children.
Yeah, she's just
What's
like,
with all
hey,
these
come
children?
with me,
They're
and
just like,
I'll give you, treats and whatnot.
They're
Here,
just in
little
the
shit.
streets, like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's the 20th century,
There's like orphan children
They got no
everywhere.
iPads or anything.
I mean, sure.
That's what Belle Gunnis did.
Belle, that dirty
Yeah,
bitch.
she just like
Yeah.
found random children
Yeah.
and was like, "You're mine now, and I'm gonna kill you."
your mom doesn't love you. Come with me.
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure, treats. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We're,
yeah, so
we're
she-
starving. Okay.
Right. I have
Okay.
nothing else going on right now.
Yeah.
So she uses the kids and she just kind of like steals this money from these people and like, oh, I'm poor, help me.
Help me.
So she uses
Help
that
me,
money
I'm
to
poor.
get all like fancy. And then she eventually ends up getting her own brothel.
So she's like those people who like dress up as a homeless person and
Yep.
like have the sign, and then as soon as they're done begging, they like throw the sign away and get in their Bentley
But they
Yep.
like definitely have Botox. Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
and an iPhone.
Those are not real tits. Yeah.
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 Yeah, so
Where are you finding these homeless people at? What the hell?
bro, go to 30 and you'll see them.
Yeah, let's go for a ride, Aaron. Let's go for a ride.
A lot going on there. Was
But
not
yeah.
expecting that. Okay.
It's true. It happens.
But yeah, so she eventually gets all like fancy and whatnot, and she still continues to make her potions for her higher rich friends. But then she starts changing the potion a little bit. So she gets these, random children off the street, but she throws them in the brothel because she found out that these people like a little more
Ew.
younger.
No.
Ew, no. I fucking hate this bitch.
Oh man, I don't like her anymore.
Yeah,
Nope.
Tell you, she's
I wanted to be her friend, but not anymore.
I
Very
don't
dark
like her
and
anymore.
You
horrible.
weren't kidding.
God
yeah.
damn.
So she uses the children for that.
Oh, that's upsetting.
But then
man.
she also eventually, I don't know where the time frame is, but she starts killing them. And she uses their blood and she grinds up their bones and uses their body fat in these like ointments and potions
Holy
and stuff.
shit.
Yeah. And of course, these people are like, they believe it's going to help them not get tuberculosis and whatever other disease. So they're buying that shit from
Oh
her.
my god.
They're like little TB babies.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
like they get it. Huh?
Yep.
You get it?
Fucking idiot.
die.
That's what you get for fucking eating a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You want some baby blood? Here.
Yeah.
3 drops down your throat per night.
No problem.
You'll be fine. It's
Totally
fine.
fine.
Yeah. So then eventually she does end up getting arrested because this kid, he was in the higher class, more like a teen. He, kind of rats her out. But again, she knows all these
Somebody needs
higher
to.
rich people, and she's like, "That's going to cause a huge scandal for everybody in Barcelona." Like maybe
Yeah,
not a
because
good idea
yeah,
to do
no,
that.
for
blah,
sure.
Blah, blah,
Oh my
and especially
God.
because some of the people like that were in the police were doing the same shit. So
She like owns this brothel too, right?
yeah,
She like owns this fucking community. It sounds like.
Jesus. That's messed up.
Sure
man.
is.
Yeah, when I was reading this, I was like, yo, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, so she still like lived in the poor though, in the ghetto, and she would dispose of the kids' like bodies in her house with like a knife and shit. She would just leave that shit in like a bag. And I'm like, wouldn't that smell over time?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, but nobody really. Yeah.
There wasn't
I
like
guess
Wait,
she
wait,
went to
wait, wait, wait.
having people
So
over.
nobody noticed the smell of dead bodies in the brothel? How bad was it?
No, it wasn't in the brothel. It was like in her house.
Oh, my
like,
bad.
where she stayed. Like
Oh,
it was
that-
in the
okay.
poor
Yeah, yeah,
side
yeah.
Was there-
and everything.
refrigerators yet? No.
I don't know.
What year was this? You said
20th
Titanic around?
Yeah,
they have refrigeration.
They had ice
Well,
boxes.
Okay.
They would have had ice boxes.
Maybe she's putting
for the
them in the
rich.
ice box.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, she sounds like
No,
she was
because
the
she
rich.
lived in the poor area.
Well, I mean, you could be rich in a poor area.
Yeah, she owned a brothel, so she probably was making money.
Well, right, and she was lying.
And she was
about being poor.
selling her dead baby body parts to like a rich people.
Yeah.
So she was.
She was.
This is skeeving me out so
definitely had
bad.
an
She knew
ice
what
box,
she
yeah.
was doing.
Anyway.
But
Anyway.
yeah. So like over the next couple of years, she was getting away with this shit. And people started to notice, like, where are all these fucking kids going?
Stop.
Like, kids
Somebody finally noticed the missing children.
There used to be a bunch of little homeless kids around here.
Well, I mean, the candy shop burned up, so
Right.
yeah,
They just moved on.
they must have gone to the next town.
Oh man,
no.
half of them went to Bell Gunnis. Half of them went to
In her van.
this chick.
So yeah, so eventually she ended up kidnapping a couple of children that were like, the parents were like, "What the fuck? Where's my kid?" Like they turned around.
Oh, they actually cared.
Yeah, and like they turned around. Next thing you know, she turns back around. The kid's
She
gone.
got sloppy.
She's like, what the fuck? Like they're gone. So eventually, there's posts all over, like pictures and stuff like, "Where's my child?"
Putting them on milk cartons.
Oh yeah,
They're going after the police. They're like, you need to start, investigating and finding our kids.
They're like, oh, we care about kids all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I think I
That
ate your
is
kid last
painfully
week.
reminiscent.
So sorry.
so.
Well, not that part, but still.
They're like, we're seriously lacking labor in the mines. Where are all these children?
Where are the children?
Right.
They yearn for the mine.
You're the mines.
Like, I can't go back there. My hands, I need tiny hands to fix this.
Where are all the children for the factories?
So sad. Anyways.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But yeah, so eventually, like, one of her neighbors had, so during all this, and her working in her brothel, she met this guy, Juan, who was kind of like her regular. So eventually,
Always a wand.
always a Juan. And eventually they do end up getting married. And she's kind of like, all right, maybe I'll like quit the brothel for a while, whatever. But she doesn't. She gets bored of the stay-at-home type, like,
He tried to
won't do it.
turn Ho into a housewife.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
anymore.
she was
Can't
not
do
about
it.
it.
I'm done with that life, baby. I promise.
But also, she was only like 26, so this girl's been doing
Oh
this
my
shit
God.
for a minute while she was young, right?
jeez.
So she eventually, like, they were trying to have a kid, but it wasn't working. She couldn't have kids.
I wouldn't trust her with a
I
child.
wouldn't either.
But that kind of brings on the whole, like, she was, fucking murdering children.
Drank too much baby blood.
Yeah,
She couldn't have
for
kids.
sure.
So she just kept fucking doing it. She's like, all right, well, we're going to go back to that life and be all rich and whatnot. So her and her dude eventually parted ways, but he still kind of lived in, like, the same, like, building area where she lived. And he had, like, friends over there. And one friend, like, noticed, like, hey, who's that little kid in that window? Kind of like, what's going on? So
Who's the
eventually,
little kid in the window?
like, she knew that, they didn't have a child. And she...
One of them broke out of their chains.
So Marty,
Right, what the fuck?
Marty, like, she was going around saying that was her daughter, and it wasn't. She just kidnapped this child and was like, "Hey, you're my kid now.
You're mine.
Yeah, this is your
call me
name,
Mom."
and your parents don't, want you anymore and whatnot. So now you're with me."
Oh
and
my
the kid's
God.
like, "Okay, sure." Yeah, pretty fucked up.
the kid was like, yeah.
Okay, mommy.
But again, homeless, hungry.
I guess.
I have
Also,
nothing
you
else going on now.
Didn't see how shiny her rocks were, so
Yeah,
you
that's
can't make any
That's true.
assumptions here.
So, but this child was like one of the kids that they had like posted about. But you can tell that
Oh, man.
she was trying to disguise the kid because she cut her hair off and everything. So eventually this lady goes to the cops and is like, hey, something's kind of fishy with that. Go check it out. But they wouldn't go do anything.
I think that's my kid in the window.
Right? They're like, yeah, whatever. This lady's crazy. Like, we're not going to do that. But then she made an excuse because like back then you weren't allowed to have roosters and chickens in your apartment.
Oh, but you could have kidnapped children.
Not
And
in
body
your
parts.
apartment.
Yeah. So she was like, oh, well, she's
I like
got-
how you said back then, like it would be okay right now. Like just
mean,
have
you
a
never
chicken in your
know.
apartment.
Don't go in my basement.
Okay, I'm going. I'm gonna go. I have to.
They're like, there's an ordinance.
But yeah, so they are like, all right, whatever, let's go check it out. And then eventually they see that, there's no fucking chickens or roosters in there and there's a small child and they're like,
There's just
Wait a
cut
minute.
up children's body parts.
That's a chicken. Yeah.
Right.
so they eventually figure out that she kidnapped, and this was her last, quote, victim, and this was in 1912.
Damn.
And the kid's name was
Not that long ago.
Teresa? I don't know how I say that.
Let me see. Where is it?
Notice she's not showing me.
Right? Because apparently, right.
Teresita.
There we go.
We could have nailed that.
Probably. I speak more Spanish than both of them combined.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
true.
It's not even.
Fine, show him next time. I don't care.
Well, Teresita was her last, quote, victim, but then nothing happened because that child got saved. And the police eventually were like, she was going by a different name, but they're like, no, this is who you are. Like, and they were telling the kid, and the kid's like, oh, yeah, that is me. And like, eventually, and then the parents found out, and they're like, oh my God, and they go to, take her. So Marti eventually gets caught, and she does get arrested. And so while she's getting arrested, there's like a huge scandal and everything. And they find all the bodies. They find the kids' clothes. They're still covered in blood. Like they discover everything.
Jeez.
And they question Juan. They're like, hey, were you part of this? And he was
They
like,
discovered the big milk jug in the fridge labeled baby blood.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
So-
why is that bag in the corner of your house leaking?
yeah.
It's just my things.
He was like, I wasn't a part of that shit. Like, no. So he got let off pretty good. But so she eventually got arrested, and while like it was a huge scandal and everything, but eventually that kind of died off because around the time she got arrested and put in jail, the Titanic happened.
Oh my God.
So everything quickly went to that, and
So, like, no one cared.
It's like being
About the woman who killed a bunch of
Because
children.
she planted the fucking iceberg, bro. It was
obviously,
her.
it was an inside
the
job.
whole
It
time.
was an inside job.
It was.
It's like being a serial killer getting arrested on like 9/10/01. It's
Oh
like
God, yeah.
I don't get it.
9/11 was the next day. I love you so much.
Oh yes.
I love
Never forget.
you so deeply.
Never
I love you
forget.
so much too.
Never
So
forget.
deeply.
At least it's blind love.
Because we
Unconditional.
can't see.
Got that going for us.
That was cute.
Yeah. So she eventually dies in jail, and it's from cancer in her ovaries. But a lot of people believe that she got stabbed.
Good. I hope
In her
so.
ovaries?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope somebody
Yeah.
got her.
Yeah, fuck her. Wow.
Yep. And
That was
it. I mean,
terrible.
I kept it pretty PG
That was
with all
dark.
that because there was a
With the
lot
bitch.
more to that where it was like,
I'm sure.
yeah, I was
Good
like, oh
job.
my God.
Thanks for not getting us canceled.
Yeah, no, we don't
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah.
I'm sure the gory
So-
details are out there for anyone who wants to look further into it, but
Indeed.
we're just going to kind of keep things.
Yeah, but
Keep
she
it pushing.
Well, so she was a fucking bitch. Thanks
was a
for.
vampire. I told you she
sharing.
was pretty cray and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. I did not know what to expect. And then it was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, when I
Well,
was
there we
reading
go.
that, I was like, oh, okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I've wanted to be all of these women's friends, but not
But not that one.
not
her.
Marty. What was it? Ricky? What are we calling her?
Ricky.
Marquita Marti.
Marty. You like that? You hear that? That was good, right? Anyway,
I feel like
I wish we had video.
I feel like
This is
Julia would have.
one of those moments.
I feel like Julia would have poisoned her.
oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Julia is a real one.
Yeah,
Honestly.
she's
Well,
for
I
sure.
wanted
She's
to
a
do
girl's girl.
Julia, but you took hers.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
I'm
forgot.
sorry.
That's fair.
I can't believe nobody took mine. Shall I go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about Clementine Barnabet.
Hell yeah.
All right.
One hell of a name.
I know.
Our
I know.
Southern Belle.
She's a Southern Belle. She's from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh.
She was born in 1894. So, she was also potentially the very first African American woman serial killer. Maybe. Maybe.
I enjoy the representation.
You like that?
Hell yeah.
It feels good to be representative of my people. Here we go.
I'm going to do my best.
You're gonna nail it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so down in Louisiana, again, Lafayette, this little town, between 1911 and 1912, there were murders of entire families. Not just in Louisiana. This spanned like Texas to Louisiana along the Southern Pacific Railroad line.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So for this year, there was a lot of murder.
right.
Anyways, not far from Lafayette, there's a little town. It's called Crowley in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And on February 11th, 1911, there was a man named Walter Byers. Him, his wife, and their young son were brutally murdered with an axe. A fucking axe murder is on the loose, okay?
Oh, man.
There was no question that it was an axe that killed these people because the killer left the blood-soaked axe inside the Byers' home, just like left it there, all
wow.
bloody.
That's
right?
ballsy.
I know, totally ballsy. Apparently, they were like, the door was locked. They must have entered through a window and just fucking axed these people. And they were like, I don't need the axe. And just fucking like left, right?
Damn.
What an aristocrat. Just leaving axes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. They were like, I want everyone to know. You don't have to guess.
Holy shit.
I know.
Okay.
So I guess the authorities were just like, oh, that was weird. Okay. So
Lizzie Borden vibes.
yeah, I don't know what that is, but probably.
Lizzie Borden?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, part 3.
Part 3.
I mean, we're going to do a part 3 anyways. I mean,
Hell
like-
yeah.
Lizzie Borden. Hell yeah.
Woo! So not even 2 weeks after this crazy murder with an axe, on the morning of February 24th, there was a little boy in Lafayette, Louisiana, where we started. He runs into his house and he tells his mom, oh my God, I just found my aunt, my uncle, and my 2 cousins. They're dead in their house.
Oh my God.
Your sister, right? And the mom's like, what? And so she runs over to his sister's house and sure enough, aunt, uncle, 2 cousins, dead.
The whole
in their home.
family.
Yes. So the names were Alexander Andrus, his wife Mimi, son Joaquin, and daughter Agnes.
I love those names, all of them.
So cute, right?
Incredible.
Anyways,
So sad they're dead.
I know. I bet they were wonderful
They
too.
were so cool. They were the cool family
They
on
were.
the block.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, this little kid liked them.
Yeah.
So this time, though, the axe was found at the foot of their bed, covered in blood.
Who's
So,
just
like,
leaving axes everywhere?
Different axe.
Somebody.
So do we know if these axes are like axes that belong to the family that was murdered or if they were
I don't fucking
brand
know.
new axes?
I don't know, because my thought was like, nobody was like, oh yeah, there was this person that came and bought like a bunch of axes. You know what I mean?
Cashier
Like,
at Home Depot
yeah.
was like, someone just bought
It was
40
suspicious.
axes.
Like,
yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
suspicious.
We just figured it was for an art project.
We just
honestly.
figured they had a lot of trees to chop down.
Right.
Yeah.
We need the revenue. Leave us alone.
Yeah, I mean, people had a lot of kids back then, right? Like, axe for everybody. Just cut down a forest.
Axes for the whole family.
Yeah.
Growing axe game.
And she was like, yeah, the whole family.
Literally. So this murder was a little bit different than the first one, and this is where it starts to really get suspicious, okay? So the Andrus family, that's who they were moved after their death, and they were placed at like on the side of their bed on their knees to make it look like they were praying, which is so fucking creepy, right?
That is creepy.
And then just imagine that little boy walked in and saw that shit.
Oh my God, how traumatizing.
Could you imagine? And that was his family, and they probably loved him so much.
How
and he
old was
probably,
he?
I don't know, but he was a little boy.
He's traumatized.
He's just a little boy.
the rest of his life.
Yeah, I don't even know how long he made it. I don't know.
He was in therapy probably for a while.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
So after the second family was discovered, a sheriff Lacoste was in charge of both of these investigations because now he was like, oh, well, second murder, I guess I got to look into it, right? So he decided that the murders were connected, and he named his first suspect. Had to be Garcon Godfrey.
Say that one more time.
Garcon Godfrey.
Gart? Wait.
Garcon? Not really sure.
Sure.
We're going to call him Godfrey.
Got
Because
it.
it's
That'll
easier.
work.
Yep, like Gilbert.
That's it, just like Gilbert.
Now I just imagine Gilbert Godfrey being a fucking axe murderer. Space rat.
But so did I.
That's perfect.
So did I.
That's my mental picture.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So he looked crazy enough to do it, right?
Yeah.
So he was a recently escaped lunatic. So the sheriff was like, had to be him. Like, he's fucking nuts. Of course he would pick up axes at the Home Depot, a lot of them, and murder a bunch of families, right? So anyway, that's the last mention of Mr. Godfrey, just so you're aware.
Oh, okay.
Everyone forget about him. He's just crazy and on the loose, whatever.
Okay, got it.
So the next killing happened.
He went on to like find a couple in their car, and like his hook got planted into the. Anyway.
Oh, man.
I hope he lived a good life. I don't know.
He went on
Whatever.
to kill teenagers who were making out in their cars.
Yeah, well, shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were warned. So in Texas, on March 22nd, same year, 1911, Louis Cassaway, his wife, and their 3 children were bludgeoned to death with an axe.
Wait, they were bludgeoned with an axe?
That's what it said.
So like the dull end?
Probably both ends, bro. I don't know. It was... this whole thing was wild. There was
Okay.
just a lot of murder. And some of it, it's like they don't
They're like specify.
No, it's like, again, like... There's this family, but whatever.
They were
like
just
kind of an
axed to
afterthought,
death.
right? Well, there was a little more about this family, okay? So investigators are now completely thrown off because they're like, this murder is nothing like the first 2. Why? Because the first 2 murders, the families were black, right? This family, Mrs. Cassaway, was white.
Oh.
So they're like, this one had to be a hate crime
Uh-oh.
because they were mixing races. So
Yeah. How dare they?
it had to be a hate crime.
Yep.
So there's no way they're connected.
So about equality, really.
But when it was black people, it was like just an average murder.
It was
well,
1911. Nobody gave a fuck about
if
black
you
people.
think about the first murder, they like didn't even fucking investigate.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the
Right,
second
points
one had to
exactly.
happen.
They're just like, whatever.
Yeah, and they were
damn.
like praying. This is starting to get a little voodoo, right?
Like,
Yeah.
Well, it is Louisiana, so
In 1911.
yeah.
Don't you worry. The witchy vibe continues,
Okay,
but not yet.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. So this is where a man named Raymond Barnabet comes into the story after this, the Cassaway murders, right? Now, Raymond is Clementine's dad. Clementine's our girl, right? He did not have a good reputation. This man was an awful fucking man. Okay. So he has said that he had a very violent temper. He cheated on his wife. He abused his children. I saw like in my research, again, there's not a lot known about her childhood, but it is said that like he abused his whole entire family, and it was just not good.
Yeah,
right?
he was a dick.
So he had definitely a dick, and he had a long rap sheet for like petty crimes that he had committed over the years. So he's just not good. So when his mistress contacts the sheriff, tells him, well, he probably had something to do with these murders because she was fucking mad at him. Okay. So his mistress and him used to get into these fights. They would get into these arguments. And she got so mad. She was like,
She's like,
fine.
I'm gonna call the cops on you. He's like,
Fine.
for what? For what? She's
I
like,
didn't do shit.
cause you a murderer.
I know you own an ex, sir. Yeah. So she fucking told on him. He probably did it.
That's hell.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah. So anyways.
so ridiculous.
But it happened.
She's telling her friends, she's like, I bet he killed those people. I bet he did it.
That's kind of what happened. Like, she told somebody, like, I'm pretty sure it was him. And then she was like, that's a good idea.
Crazy.
I'm going to go
He's
tell
crazy.
on him, actually, for real, and show him.
Her girlfriends are like, girl, you should go to the cops. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna.
Yeah. And so
I'm gonna go to the cops.
So now, excuse me. So now the sheriff has a new suspect in Raymond, right? In the fall of 1911, Raymond Barnabet is on trial for the murder of these three families. Okay. Did he do it? I don't know. But his two children, Zephyrin is a boy, and Clementine, our girl, she's 17, by the way.
Oh my God.
They testified against their dad. They did.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, probably because he beat them and was like a douchebag.
That's what I
I'll do
think.
it.
Yes. So essentially, Clementine and her brother Zephyrin, right?
That's a cool last name,
It
also,
is
by the way.
a very good name.
Yeah.
Just
Zephyrin.
putting that out there. But yeah, basically they were just saying like, well, we're fucking terrified of this guy. Like, because it was, even now, you don't really testify against your parents. Like, that's not really a thing that happens, especially children.
So they hated his ass.
fucking hated him.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it's fine. We told on him because he's a bad person. And like, nobody should have to deal with Raymond Barnabet because he's bad.
They're like, oh yeah, he super did it.
Yeah. So Clementine says, well, really late one night, my dad showed up at home and he was covered in blood.
And he was holding an axe.
Well, he kept leaving his axe.
Of course not. He left his
left his
axe.
axe.
Okay. All
kidding.
of the axes were left
He
behind.
went to Home Depot and he bought 14 axes.
So many. He told us. So Zephyrin, our buddy Z, gets up on the stand.
Old Zeph.
Yeah, and he like totally backs his sister. He's like, yep, showed up in blood. Like, but also he
jeez.
said, I killed the whole damn Andrews family.
Ooh.
Like, okay, you said that to your fucking children. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But Zephyrin was like, nah, dude, for real. He said it. He said it. He did
said
it.
he killed them.
He did it.
And he
murdered
was covered
them.
in blood and he bought axes.
He did.
So
All the
many.
other axes are
He bought a
So
bunch
many
of
axes.
All the axes.
They're just laying around the house all the time.
Right, I keep tripping over them.
Not anymore. We're getting rid of them.
OSHA violations.
My wife said to get rid of the axes, so I did. So, in October of that same year, when Raymond is on trial and all that good stuff, a jury convicts him of these murders, right? However, during Raymond's trial, 3 pretty big oopsies happened, granting him a second trial. So here are the 3 oopsies. Number 1, Raymond was drunk throughout his trial. And they were like, oh, well, then we should give you a new one because you no way you could have had the right testimony. You were drunk. You were under the influence. Yeah.
Who let him do that? First
The
of all.
judge? I don't know. But they were like, oh, we found out he was drunk. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So anyways, he was drunk. Number 2, the jury did not follow the judge's instructions during their deliberation. It never says what those instructions were that they didn't do.
Just
However,
like a technicality.
whatever. Number 3, there was no motive offered by the prosecution. So they were like, if you can't give a motive, why are we convicting this dude, right? But anyways, he's got to chill in jail until his second trial gets granted anyway, right? So he's still hanging out. But while he's waiting in jail, a new crime happens.
Oh no.
There's a new crime scene. So on November 27th.
Clementine, you couldn't have waited until
Yeah, like just a few weeks, maybe.
Dude, she had the urge.
I don't think she wanted to have somebody else
Damn.
like take the fucking,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I think she
yeah.
was like, I did it and I want everybody to know.
And I'll do it again.
Yeah. But you'll see, because there's some, you'll see. Anyway,
Okay.
so November 27th, 1911, we're still in the same year, the bodies of Norbert Randall and his wife, Azima, and their 4 children aged 8, 6, 5, and 2.
Oh, babies.
I know, they were little babes. They were found bludgeoned to death with the blunt side of an axe, to answer your question on this one, in their cabin. So Norbert, this is also strange because Norbert, the dad, was actually shot in the head before he was axed, which is strange, right?
Okay, that is strange.
So all these new little things are happening.
Just switching
from
it up.
crime to crime. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just like the previous crime scenes, the axe was left behind. This time, however, it was partially cleaned for some reason. So the killer was like, I'm going to half-ass clean this a little bit.
That's
probably just for
weird.
fun, right?
Okay.
Sure.
I wonder if I could clean up a crime scene.
I'm gonna try it.
And then
I'm
she
gonna
got
try
halfway
it.
through and she's like, fuck this.
Nah,
I got bored. Like,
do it.
who would clean their axe? What a
yeah,
dick.
right? It's so dumb.
That's stupid. I'm going
There's
home.
way too much blood for
we
this.
don't even have running water. Like, we can't.
Right. I'm going to go and convict my dad again. This is stupid.
She pees on it. Yeah. Okay. So by now, the citizens of Lafayette, Louisiana are panicked. They are freaking out. There's all these rumors that like the Randall children were mutilated by the killer, and everyone just freaked out because not only were they murdered with an axe, which is fucked up enough, they were like weird shit. Like there were like little wooden things that were keeping their hands apart for some reason.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just
Weird.
weird. So it kept their hands like splayed for like no real reason. Just bizarre. So anyways, 150 people in this community, not communicate. I can't communicate is the problem. So 150 people gather for a meeting at the Good Hope Baptist Church in Lafayette, right? And they all meet together, and it's just because they're all freaked out. So they're kind of reminded like how you're going to stay safe, you know, all the usual things, travel in numbers.
Yeah, lock your doors.
You know, sleep with weapons. That was a thing.
Sleep with your own axe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Go to Lowe's because there are no more axes at Home Depot.
No more. No more. I think you can next day prime it. Maybe. 1 or 2.
Jeez.
So at the same meeting, though, the people are just like, okay, well, telling us how to fucking stay safe is not helping. Like, police, do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, do something. This is
The police are
crazy.
like, just don't get axe murdered. We don't know.
Yeah, right.
We
what are you
don't
looking at us
know. We're not cops.
Have you tried not getting murdered?
Yeah. Idiots. So all these dumb fucking people. No, I'm kidding. But they were like, no, really, look at the Barnabette family again. Just look closer, even though Raymond's in jail, right? They're like, this family is fucking weird. Like, you need to see what's up. And the police were like, fine. And so they end up going to the Barnabette house so that they can investigate all the other family members or whatever. So they go to the residence to like look for new evidence. And sure enough, there is blood on like the gate on the outside of their residence, right? In their yard or whatever.
There's just like someone's name written in blood on the wall that they just forgot to look at.
Interesting you
nothing.
say that.
No.
It's nobody's name, but we'll get there.
Oh my God.
So, okay, not only is there blood outside of the gate, they go into Clementine's room, this 17-year-old girl, and they find women's clothing, obviously hers, covered in blood, right? And brain matter. Cool. Weird. Not suspicious.
Not hers, probably.
No, probably, maybe though. I don't know. I don't think Q-tips were invented yet. Accidents happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get a little too deep.
Just a little. And then your brain matter is on your apron. So they find an apron, a dress, and undergarments. And what's so fucking dumb is there are sorry. It's just so dumb. So it covered in blood and brain matter, right? Well, why did some people, they were like, well, we don't think she did it. Like, she probably just got her fucking period. I swear to God. I swear to God.
They're like, you know when you get your period and your brain comes out?
Yeah. Yes.
Honestly, I can see them saying that shit.
I can see a male judge being like, sounds legit.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds reasonable.
And they were like, well, yeah, but she's 17. Like, what do you mean? Like, she would know. And like, put whatever, like do whatever she needed to do.
Be heavy as
and they
fuck.
were like, well, no, like some girls get their period late. Like she probably just didn't know and like stashed her clothes.
Some girls get really heavy periods.
The heaviest of
And
flows.
like one
Yeah.
And have
tampon doesn't
access.
do it for you.
To go through your undies.
Sometimes it's really
your
hard
dress,
to get the Diva cup out.
and the front of your apron. Help me. Moving on.
Sometimes you make a mess.
I was using an axe to help.
Again, no running water, though.
That's true. That's true.
But
She
there
had
were
an axe
axes.
handy.
There were axes.
You know?
There's just like a bloody axe leaning up against the wall.
They're still like, nope, she didn't do it.
Couldn't be her.
Couldn't be. No.
That's how she uses that to get the tampons out.
I fucking knew something weird was going to come out of your mouth. Yep. Yep.
Sorry, Aaron.
Anyway.
What? Seen her joking about the shit too. I don't know. The fuck?
Oh, man.
Having female friends is fine.
It is fine.
Yeah.
It is.
Jeez.
It's the best.
It really is.
Not even uncomfortable. This is cool.
This is cool.
Stupid ass theories about this shit.
It's so dumb.
How the fuck?
She's probably just on her period. What? You're going to let
Yeah.
this bitch get away with murder because... Okay.
Because it could be a woman, of course.
No.
That's
It
going to
could
be
be a
my
woman.
defense when I kill someone. Like, I was on my period. It wasn't me.
Couldn't have been.
I mean,
This
not
man's
nice.
blood was just...
You know what's sad is
my
like you could
vagina's
probably
blood.
still work. Like,
Probably.
Probably,
get
yeah.
the right fucking judge.
Yeah.
That has
Get a
no-
really good lawyer and a really
The right
dumbass judge.
judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are in Indiana.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not getting into politics, but just saying. We're moving on from there.
So that day, 17-year-old Clementine is arrested. So they do arrest her. They're not just like, no, she was definitely on her period. They were like, she might not have been on her period.
Maybe
Maybe
it was
both.
Yeah, we don't know.
little something
Anyways,
extra.
Apparently nobody looked. I don't know. But
Jeez.
but she does deny the claims. She's like, no, I didn't murder anybody. What do you mean?
She's like, I was just on my period.
Probably my dad. Yeah, I was just on my period.
The
Everyone
heaviest flow.
stop telling me that I'm having mood swings because it's definitely not from my period.
Oh, you think I killed someone just because I'm on my period? That's
Exactly.
so sexist.
It is sexist.
Again, you could probably get away with it. Like, you're gonna use this,
be
they're gonna
loud
use this
enough,
episode
yeah.
in court as
Oh,
I'm
I
just
hope
like,
they do.
Yeah.
We're all gonna get summons.
like
Yeah.
this bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I kill someone, you guys are
Yes.
definitely going to get.
Yes. I'm gonna be like, no. It wasn't an ice pack. She's just on her period. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
Obviously.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so while both Raymond and Clementine were sitting in prison, because remember, Raymond is waiting for his trial.
Daddy daughter prison time.
Yeah, and Clementine, too bad they didn't have a good relationship. They could have had
That's true.
like a whole
bonding,
gang.
yeah.
They could have had a whole gang of stuff
Yeah.
and made, I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
The family gang in prison.
So while the two are in prison, another family is slain with an axe. More axe murders.
Wait a minute, but Clementine is in prison.
Clementine's in prison. I know. Plot thickens, right? Shit's crazy. In January of 1912, we first have the murder of Marie Warner and her 3 children
Oh my God.
with an axe. Zephyrin, Clementine's brother, is arrested on assumptions that he was carrying out murders for his dad and sister, right? This is
Because of
starting
course
to-
he's innocent.
I know. This is starting to sound like mob shit, by the way. They're like
Damn.
making phone calls from jail, like demands, you know? Like, we bought all those axes. You have to get rid
Yeah,
of them.
you have
So-
to use them.
Yes.
We don't want to waste our money.
Yes. No. Well,
Get
no.
our money's worth, Zeph.
Yeah. So Zeph's like, okay,
Okay.
sure. Actually, we don't know if he really did, but he got arrested for it. So, the same night, though, of the Warner murders that Zephyrin got arrested for and Zephyrин's arrest, right? Same night after the fact, the Broussard family of Lake Charles, Louisiana.
What?
Father Felix, his wife, and their 3 children are brutally attacked.
Wait a minute.
Dead.
Wait a minute.
I'm telling you.
The
know.
plot thickens again.
Plot thickens.
It's a thick ass plot.
It's so thick.
3 C's.
Thicker than Clementine's uterine lining.
If you can say it. Oh, no. Can you say it, though?
Yuck.
That's what I wanted. Yes. Okay, so this is the first time that the occult is brought into question. Okay, so now we're getting a little spooky, right?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So they're thinking that they're like voodooing.
Well,
these
yeah,
murders
because
from
listen
prison.
to The Broussard children had their fucking blood drained into buckets on the side of their beds next to their dead bodies.
What?
Okay.
Holy shit.
And a message, a message written in blood on the wall.
I'm a genius.
Read, when he maketh the inquisition for blood, he forgetteth not the cry of the humble.
What's that from?
I can't remember. I wrote it down. Well, it's
pretty sure it's a Bible verse.
Well,
Bible
it is,
thing?
but it was actually, so it's from the Bible.
Okay.
But then it was misquoted in a book.
Okay.
That was around this time, by the way. It was around.
So
it was a thing.
The misquote from the book.
I can't remember.
Something
but
like
it's definitely heavy.
Oh my God.
Okay. That's what's important.
Got it.
It's heavy. But they also find a blood scribbling that reads, Human 5. We don't know what this means.
Okay.
Must be a witch. So
Yeah, she's a witch.
Switch.
the media, obviously just newspapers, but the media has a field day freaking everybody out.
The news media.
They're calling the crime a sacrifice.
Satanic panic.
It is. They're fucking voodoo worshipers. They fucking sacrifice these families with axes and
God.
Everybody, you're not safe. You're not fucking safe, bro.
And people are like, but they're in prison, and they're like, she's a witch!
Which is why it's even spookier.
Yeah.
They're like, of course it's voodoo.
Yeah.
Of course it's voodoo. Because these people are magical, and we're not safe, even though they're in jail.
Yeah.
What do we do, right?
Put the black into black magic. Got it.
They really are, though. So in April, on the day that Clementine's grand jury convenes, she announces that she is guilty of the murders of the Randalls, the Byers, the Andresses, and so many more, you guys, that we didn't even talk about. Okay.
What?
So she claims that she was involved with a secret cult called the Church of Sacrifice. So it's kind of this offshoot church of the one that we mentioned before that everybody gathered in, right? So it's a full-on fucking cult. There is this priest, this high priest that she talks about and says all kinds of stuff. So she claims, and there's two different versions here. She claims that it was either the priest himself or a high priestess in this cult gifted her and her friends something called conjure bags. Okay. Conjure bags are really just like little charms in hoodoo that are supposed to give you like magical powers and protect you from things or whatever the case, right?
Yeah.
So in this instance, it was meant to grant her and her friends these magical powers to protect them from getting caught to do whatever they wanted, right? So they could do whatever they want. They're not going to get in trouble. No problem.
Didn't work.
Here's your little bag. Your little bag. Did it though? Hang on.
Okay.
Anyways.
Oh my God.
Hot is wild.
I'm so into this right now.
So wild. So she claims, our little Clemmy, she claims that her first murder was a test to see whether this magical protection was really going to work or not.
It was just for funsies, kind of?
It was just a test. It was just a test.
Trial and error.
You know, when you're like, if I was going to murder someone, what would that weapon look like? For her, it was an axe.
Of course it was.
So she tried it out. Anyways, so it works because she got away with the first one, right? The sheriff wasn't even going to fucking look into that shit. He was like, whatever, they're dead. Who cares? Not weird.
Okay.
Anyway, so Clementine, ultimately, she confesses her involvement in 35 murders between 1911 and 1912.
In 1 year.
Oh, she was busy.
In 1 year, and she's a teenager.
1 year. This 17-year-old who just got her period. So anyway, so one of the murders that she confesses to, though, and this is where things are like, are you sure you're not just crazy? She confesses to the Broussard murders, those were the kids that had their blood drained in the buckets, right? She was in prison when it happened.
Yes.
So it's like, bitch, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
But again, voodoo.
Well, she also testified that her father did it too. So
She did.
Like, how does anyone know that she's telling the truth at this point?
That's actually my favorite part of this story
Okay.
is that it's all so fucking wild that where is the truth? And it's awesome because at the very end of it, you get to go, what do I think?
Yeah.
And that's what all of our listeners get to do. So anyways, her confessions themselves were confusing. They were contradicting throughout the years. It was just, a lot of people were like, we don't actually think she did it. Like she's just saying it, right?
She's just saying she did it.
That's what she's saying. But she's like, the whole time, she's like, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. She's taken all of it. So after her wild confession to, 35 different murders, she ended up being examined by several doctors after they convicted her, right? Or no, it wasn't when they convicted her. They had her basically be tested to make sure she wasn't crazy. So
like
she was either going to go
competency test.
Yeah, so she was either going to the Looney bin or she was going to go to like a prison for murderers, right? So they decided she was perfectly sane. So she saw quite a few doctors, and not everyone agreed. There were a couple of them that were like, she might be fucking crazy. But most of them were like, nah, dude, she's not crazy. Like, she's sane.
She's dead ass.
Like, she knew what the fuck she did.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she was sent to Angola State Penitentiary to serve out a life sentence. All right? So they gave her a life sentence for all these murders.
They didn't give her the death penalty for killing 30 plus people?
No.
Okay.
Okay. But wait. Just wait, B. Okay?
Sorry.
No, you're doing a great job. You're doing a really good job. So at the end of July in 1913, not a lot of time has passed, huh? Clementine, she escapes prison. She does.
What?
I know.
It was the bag.
It had to be. So she's like, I'm just going to see if I can escape, because she didn't last the whole day. Like,
That
they got
is
her.
so funny.
They got her back.
So she didn't even really want to escape. She's just like,
she's like, let's just see if my little voodoo charm works.
Yeah.
If I'm still safe to do whatever I want. And sure enough.
Oh my God.
This bitch can do whatever she wants. Even if she says she's guilty. So
she
let's
got
get into
out
that.
of prison and like just what stood in the yard. It was like,
it's what it sounds like. Honestly.
She's like, yeah, no, come get me.
Nobody
Whatever.
found that crazy guy from earlier. You remember that?
Let's circle back to that real
Mr.
quick.
Godfrey
Gilbert Gottfried.
out there
Kicking it.
murdering people in their cars, just trying to make out. Like, I don't get it. But
oh my God. Okay.
anyways, so for the next 10 years while she's in prison, she is the model prisoner. She is just doing a great job. She's doing whatever they tell her to do. And the funny thing is, after she escapes, for some reason, they're like, we're going to give you a job that doesn't even really require a lot of supervision. You're going to go out in the yard. You're going to do this job. We trust you.
Someone else is just in there for a marijuana charge.
Literally.
She's over here killed 30 people.
Probably getting paid for her little job in the yard. But
my
anyway, she
God.
doesn't try to escape again. She's like, no problem. I'll just do my job and live my life in prison. No problem, right? She stays out of trouble, blah, blah, blah. She is fucking released in 1923. 10 years she did.
Get
10 years of her
out of
life
here.
sentence.
No.
I know. But the crazy thing is, they let her out of prison after she undergoes a surgical operation, right?
Lobotomy.
Not a lobotomy.
No, because America didn't see lobotomies for 10 years after this. They
Oh,
didn't know
okay.
what that
I
was.
like that you looked this up, that you were prepared for this.
I had that question.
Pretty good at being prepared.
She knew we were going to ask
Oh,
about lobotomy.
Exactly, for
I
sure.
fucking knew, because I did too. I was like, lobotomy.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh my God. What did they do to her?
Well, that's the thing, is that it's not fucking documented.
Oh.
There's like nothing documented. All it says is that she was given a procedure that made her okay again. Like, it cured her, but never even said what her ailment was.
So, like, what were they? Okay, now this makes me wonder, like, what the pre-lobotomy was.
I
What they
know.
were doing to women before
know.
lobotomies were a thing.
Whatever they did, it apparently made her normal. And remember, when we talked about lobotomies,
Normal.
it was about making women easier to deal with.
It was about making them catatonic,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, this woman has an opinion. She's a witch. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Lobotomy.
Lobotomy, baby.
Shove
Yes.
a big old needle in that bitch's brain.
Yeah, hit the
She's
reset
fine.
button.
Yeah. Turn her off, turn her back on again.
Turn it right back on. Just a little flip of the switch and do a trick. So,
The irony of people turning women on that really probably couldn't in the first place.
oh my God.
It was in my brain. I had to say it. Go on. I'm sorry.
Nope, I loved it. Every minute of it. So, her release from prison ends her story for good.
Wow. What did
af-
she do? Do we know?
became
After
a
her
bus driver.
release, there's abs.
It felt right.
I'm sorry.
She became a bus driver.
She 100% became a bus
Please
driver.
help me. Where's she driving this bus? Where's she
All
going?
over Louisiana.
Yep.
Probably.
Schools.
Yep.
Probably. She was allowed near schools for some reason. Okay, after her release, she walks out of prison. Nothing ever again. There's no knowledge.
No like record of her at all.
Exists. Nothing.
Other than the fact that she became a bus driver.
Obviously.
All that's written in history is she walked out of jail. She got into the driver's seat of a bus. And she lived her life.
There was already a bus there waiting for her.
It was just ready. They were like, you were so good at your job in the yard. We wanted to give you this bus driving job.
Oh my God.
So they did. And, but for real,
The kids are like, y'all hear about Miss Clementine? I heard she killed 30 people
with an axe.
with an axe.
42 of them.
While she was on her period.
Little Jimmy's like, bullshit. I don't believe that.
He's carrying his own bucket of blood.
Oh my
So anyways,
God.
she disappears. She disappears from the planet Earth. And she probably ended up just like changing her name or something like that. Whatever. And just like ran away. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe she became a voodoo priestess. Probably.
Yeah.
And then helped people get away with murder. Probably.
Yeah.
But it's, again, it's wild because her confessions, most people just didn't believe her because nothing added up. So I think a lot of it was true, is that she did axe some motherfucking people and their little kids and got away with it because she also said, well, I did all of them.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, you're just a silly lady and you're being crazy.
Maybe she was like, maybe it was her and like a friend and she was like covering for the friend or something.
Well, I don't know because the only mention of friends is when she receives this bag.
That's what I was thinking
Right?
of. Like she got these
Her
bags
charms.
with a friend or like
Yeah.
her friends or something like
but
that,
that's
right?
the only mention of
So
it.
maybe it was her friend.
Her period?
Her
Her monthly friend? Is that what you're talking about?
Aunt Flo.
Yeah.
But what happened? Wait, what happened to her brother and her dad? Did they get released?
So the dad gets released because he ends up getting out of jail because even though he was granted this second trial, those two murders couldn't have been him.
Correct.
So the third
But
murder,
like they couldn't have been her either. Okay,
but
I'm sorry.
she said it was.
I know, but like she was in prison.
Yeah. So her brother and her dad do get out, right? They do get out. And there's really not much more to learn about them because
They're done?
Yeah. And
Okay.
she is the part of the story that everybody's like, holy fucking shit. Like, did
Yeah.
you do it or not?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So it's interesting because all those murders that happened, no one was ever actually found to be guilty of these murders because again, remember that whole family, besides the mom, by the way, she's never fucking mentioned. And I think she's the one that murdered everybody. But
Ooh.
remember he was mean and like abused her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she got those kids to lie. She was like, your dad's a piece of shit. Like you're going to say that he fucking came in all bloodied up and said, I murdered people. And they were like, okay, mom, sure. We love you. Because dad's a piece of shit.
And then y'all are gonna go to prison for mommy.
Yeah. And they were like, okay, mom.
Oh my God.
I know.
What if it was the mom?
And then when
I like
Clementine
that
got out
theory.
of prison, her mom was like, come on, baby, I've got a whole new life for you. And here's your new name. And
Here's your
let's
bus."
go. I murdered your father with an axe. And then drive the bus, even though,
Yeah. Mommy got you a
even
bus.
though I could, but I didn't. Yeah. I can't drive.
So did the murders like stop after she was in prison for a while?
Maybe.
Or, like,
So there's a whole nother story that I would love to talk about. Not today, but there's a thing called the man from the train. And there's a few different names. There's like a theory that it was actually the man from the train that committed all of these murders. So he was essentially a train hopper. And he would get off the train.
didn't you say this all happened like along a railway too?
Yes. And that's why they think it could have been the man from the train. But
Okay.
the MO wasn't exactly the same. Like how the murders happened. But that's the weird thing is that all these murders that we just talked about,
They were all
there was
different.
something wildly different about
Yeah.
each of them. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
All of a
There
sudden
was, like,
you're
no
just
consistency except
draining blood
for
from
the axe.
children. What?
Yeah.
Could have been a bunch of people that did it.
Could have been. And that's the thing is they think that there were a bunch of copycats.
It's like
so
this reminds me of like the smiley face killers. Like
Yes.
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 Yeah.
But in 1911. So
Yeah.
Clementine, I think that she probably did axe a bunch of people, right? And then people started copycatting it, right?
Okay.
Or she
was
could
a
have been the
copycat.
copycat from the man from the train.
Oh.
Man, I want to know.
But she added her voodoo witchy bullshit to
I
it
wanna
and
know.
confused everybody.
Oh my God.
And that's the story of Clementine.
Man,
That
a lot of
was
murder in 1911.
10 out of 10 story. That was
Good one.
Thank you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you
great.
so much.
Oh my god.
They were all great. So thank you all
They
for,
were.
for
The
sharing.
mystery of that.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
good.
solid.
Pretty good.
Very good storytelling, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
You too, Aaron. Good
I
job.
was just, here for chilling. I was kicking it.
You were doing a great job kicking it.
I was kicking it. I had my
Yeah.
drink.
You looked so amused like the entire time.
Yeah, I didn't have to do anything. This is fucking great for me. Enjoyed the hell out of this.
Hell
Do
yeah.
this more often.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, everybody. We appreciate you
Yeah, thanks,
requiring this podcast. This is a good episode. I think it's going to go over very well. So
Yeah.
thanks again.
Well, we already have to do a part 3.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
planned on it.
Yeah. So.
I
can't wait.
I guess I can tell y'all about that. Yeah, we're going to do part 3.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yep. Sooner than later, probably.
Hell yeah.
I can do some more research.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
The research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I found like so many things. I was like, what do I talk about?
I know. There's like a lot.
I wanted to talk about, Bloody Mary, but I was like, oh, that's too basic.
Bloody Mary's a little basic, but maybe we can do Bloody Mary for like during
Halloween.
spooky season.
I
That
mean,
would be
that's a
cool.
few weeks from now, so maybe we can make that work.
Spooky season's coming up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, even if it's somebody that is kind of well known, I mean, as long as the storytelling is good, who cares?
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
Maybe I'll
cares?
have more detail.
Yeah, you know?
That one was a little too graphic. I just kept it basic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can help make it fun.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how many babies die, we can make it fun.
As long as you can make a joke about your period,
It's totally fine.
it's fine.
And on that note, thanks again for coming on the podcast. Appreciate it. This is actually the last podcast that's going to be in this house, actually. It's going to be fucking weird.
Gosh.
Say goodbye.
Crazy.
Goodbye, house
So
and
weird.
demons and spirits.
Goodbye.
Yep, all the spirits that we've
Goodbye.
conjured
Charlie.
into this house.
Tiny cat.
Yeah, the ironically
cat.
named Tiny Cat.
That I don't know that I've ever actually seen in real life. So.
She does not like people.
I just
hides.
don't know that she's real.
I'm pretty confident that she
I have
is.
seen her like twice.
Next
So-
episode is going to be my theory on whether or not Tiny Cat is real
It could be a familiar.
and all of these supporting facts. Yes.
Tiny cat is Charlie. Just
I'm actually
in
just
cat
going
form.
to gaslight
Ah,
Aaron
again, the
and
familiar. Come
Charlie
back to
into
that.
thinking that Tiny Cat isn't real.
Good idea.
Thanks.
I've been
Starting
drinking
now.
sometimes.
Facts.
Anyways, thanks for listening to this podcast. If you've made it this far, we do appreciate it. Give us a like and follow on your favorite social medias. Give us rate us on your listening device too, because it's been a while. Like we've been at like a 4.8 for a minute. Get us to a 4.9.
Yeah.
Help us out.
4.9.
4.9. 4.98.
Yeah, that. Yep. that.
5.
But we can never get a 5 again. Like unless like whoever got the
Delete them.
yeah, somebody gave us like a 3 at some point. Fuck the whole thing up.
Whatever.
Wow.
Bag.
Idiot.
Obviously. But yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening to us. And we're back again. Y'all be cool.
Bye.